2024 has thrown up some absolutely incredible new gaming monitors so far with some outrageous specs. And today we're going to be putting two of them side by side to see which of them comes out on top. We have two monitors here from ROG, the PG32UCDM and the PG32UCDP. They might sound very similar by name, look almost identical in design, and are both 32-inch OLED 4K monitors, but that's where the similarities stop. So today we're going to go through a full side-by-side comparison to hopefully answer the question on which is better for you. And of course, let me know any thoughts or questions you have on these in the comments. So let's dive in. So I've been lucky enough to review both of these monitors on the channel already, and if you want to see a full breakdown of each, you can check out the review videos. But I was blown away by both of these when trying them out. Monitor specs are getting more and more over the top, and these two monitors are both an example of what is possible in 2024. So first things first, let's run through the specs of both of these monitors. The PG32UCDM and PG32UCDP are both 32-inch monitors with a 4K 3840x2160 resolution, which looks beautifully crisp when gaming or watching media. The UCDM uses a Samsung QD-OLED panel compared to the UCDP, which instead uses an LG OLED panel, and we'll get onto the differences that creates later on. Both monitors also support up to 240Hz in 4K, so gaming is incredibly fluid and smooth, and they also have a 0.03 millisecond gray to gray response time and VRR support. But where they both support 4K 240Hz, the UCDP also has a groundbreaking new dual mode feature, which allows you to switch the resolution to 1080p and gaming up to 480Hz instead, which again we'll go into more detail on later in the video. Both monitors are also VESA True Black 400 certified, have 99% DCI-P3 color gamut coverage, HDR10, and at least 1000 nit peak brightness to display some stunning looking images. Design-wise, there is almost no telling these monitors apart. ROG have gone with an almost identical design for both models, featuring an angular and futuristic looking stand with these pointy feet, RGB located on the back of the stand, as well as the bottom projected down onto the desk, and this RGB logo located onto the monitor itself. Both monitors feature an ultra-thin panel with tiny bezels, although the WOLED does have a noticeably thinner panel than the QD-OLED. They also have this housing on the back which contains the components, cooling, and I/O ports, including one DisplayPort 1.4 with DSC, two HDMI 2.1, and USB-C power delivery. And finally, they both have this giant and rather cool looking RGB ROG logo on the back as well. The only way you can really tell these monitors apart is the fact that the UCDM has this glossy finish on the screen and the UCDP has a matte finish. And this is something that causes a lot of debate between gamers over which looks better. With the two monitors side by side, you can get an idea of the difference in image created by the two different finishes. I've always preferred the glossy finish on an OLED monitor, but recently I've been using the UCDP in my setup, and I have to say I was incredibly impressed. The UCDM has an anti-reflective coating to try and help reduce the reflection of light from the panel, and while it does help a little, you're still going to get some fairly obvious reflections if you have any bright light sources in your room, such as a window, or like I have with these key lights which are directly opposite my gaming desk. In comparison, the UCDP has an anti-glare matte coating, and as you can see, this does a really good job of diffusing the light sources and making them much less obvious than with the glossy finish. So again, if you're in a room with light sources shining onto the screen, this might be the better option for you, as they will be much less noticeable. The matte coating does also handle ambient lighting much better as well, with the glossy screen slightly reflecting that light, which does affect the black levels, and we'll talk about that more shortly. But in a bright environment, the difference isn't hugely noticeable, and both screens do look fantastic. So as mentioned, the two different coating types on the screen affect the way the images look on the screen, especially the black levels. As the matte finish deals with ambient lighting better, this allows for much deeper true blacks, and they are next to perfect on this monitor. This looks absolutely incredible whether you're gaming or watching media, and allows the colors and contrast to stand out against those darker areas so much better. The glossy screen still looks fantastic and does a great job of providing dark blacks, but due to the slight reflection of ambient light, these black areas do look slightly raised compared to the matte finish, and in some cases you will notice this, as you can see. In certain games or gaming in a darker environment, you really won't be able to tell the difference, so it really depends on your situation. As I mentioned, I've extensively tested both of these monitors in my gaming setup, and I was incredibly impressed by both, but the black levels on the QD-OLED panel were just unmatched and actually had me leaning towards wanting to keep using this monitor, which shocked me as usually I prefer a glossy OLED. As with anything though, there is always a trade-off. And while the UCDP has the superior black levels, it does lack slightly in color vibrancy compared to the UCDM. And you can notice this when looking at them side by side. The QD-OLED panel offers some absolutely beautiful vibrant colors which look glorious in bright colorful games and media, and is one of the reasons I liked this monitor so much. I've always been a fan of beautifully vibrant colors, and the UCDM delivers this very well. That's not to say that the QD-OLED monitor doesn't also look fantastic, and in certain scenes the slightly more muted colors do actually come across very nicely. It still produces some absolutely lovely colors regardless, and both of these monitors do have 99% DCI-P3 color gamut coverage. One thing that the UCDM offers that the UCDP doesn't is Dolby Vision support, and it really does look spectacular on here. Now that I'm seeing these monitors side by side, I have to say the more vibrant and colorful images displayed on the UCDM are really catching my eye, and it definitely wins out in this case. Now, in terms of brightness, the UCDM has a peak brightness of 1000 nits compared to the UCDP, which has a peak of 1300 nits. And the latter also benefits from the new MLA Plus technology, which boosts the brightness and viewing angles in both HDR and SDR content. But honestly, I found it difficult to really notice a huge difference between the two. Both were more than bright enough for gaming in my studio in both light and darker situations, and I couldn't fault either of them. The performance was very similar, and if you'd asked me to pick out which was the brighter without giving me the specs, I would struggle to do so. So both of these are gaming monitors of course, and this is where they really stretch their legs and impress. Both offer 4K up to 240Hz, and gaming on a PC is an absolute delight on both of these monitors. Games look beautifully vibrant, and the high refresh rate paired with the 0.03 millisecond response time and 4K resolution means there is no compromise when it comes to high quality gaming experience. Everything flows really nicely and looks absolutely stunning. You can really enjoy all types of games on here too, as beautiful scenic open world games look amazing, whilst the high refresh rate is great for those of you who enjoy fast-paced FPS gaming. But if high refresh rate is your main focus over resolution, this is where the UCDP comes into its own, as it offers a brand new dual mode feature which allows you to switch from 4K 240Hz to 1080p 480Hz. Of course, this dramatically impacts the quality of visuals on screen with the big drop in resolution, but having double the refresh rate can be game-changing in those FPS games, and if you're a serious multiplayer gamer, could be the difference between winning and losing. Not for me though, because I suck at them. Obviously, this is marketed at a very specific type of gamer, and I had a lot of people in the comments of my UCDP review saying that this was a pointless feature. And for many people that is the case, but there are still plenty of people who would make use of this, and it is a great idea to include. Both monitors also offer a raft of gaming enhancements, including the ability to display FPS counters, crosshairs, boost shadows, and change the display mode depending on the content you're using. And if you're also a console gamer, the monitors of course also support 30, 60, and 120Hz and look amazing for gaming. Sure, these might be overkill for console use, but the experience is still absolutely top notch, and if you're someone who games on both PC and console, these are both great options. Now, if you're worried about burn-in, both of these monitors have got you covered. They both offer a raft of OLED care features to protect against the risk of burn-in. Things like periodic pixel cleaning to correct any degradation, screen move which moves pixels slightly so they're not static, adjust logo brightness to prevent logos from burning in, all contribute to dramatically reducing the risk of suffering any burn-in. And both monitors also feature custom heat sinks to prioritize heat dissipation and reduce the burn-in risk even further. But if you do still happen to run into any issues, Asus offers a 3-year warranty on both of these monitors, which does also include panel burn-in, which is a very nice touch. So which of these monitors is better, and which one should you get? Well, it's actually very difficult to say, as they are both fantastic monitors, and it really all comes down to a compromise of what you're personally looking for in a gaming monitor. Both monitors are a similar price, coming in around $1,300. Both offer stunning gaming performance in 4K up to 240Hz, but if you're a serious FPS gamer who is more interested in a higher refresh rate, the UCDP's dual mode allowing you to play in 1080p up to 480Hz will be a major sway towards that monitor. The QD-OLED offers more vibrant and beautiful colors which are a delight on the eye, but the WOLED offers unmatched true blacks, giving sublime contrast between lighter and darker areas, so it depends which of these appeals to you more. The UCDM's anti-reflective glossy coating does still reflect direct light sources quite a bit, and also the reflection of ambient light in brighter rooms can cause raised blacks that appear grey, whereas the UCDP with its anti-glare matte finish does a great job of diffusing those light sources and handles ambient light like a champ. And in my case, it's actually this reason that I'm going to continue using the UCDP in my setup, because even though I much prefer the colors and vibrant display of the UCDM, the matte finish works a lot better in my studio where I have so many light sources and ambient light. But which is better in your case might be totally different and will depend on weighing up the features each monitor offers, as well as which of these coatings works better for you. Let me know in the comments which of these monitors you'd go for if you had the choice. And if you're still trying to decide, then you can also check out my full reviews of both of these monitors, as they go more in depth about some of the features and performance of each and may help aid you in your choice. If you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful, then please consider hitting the thumbs up to help the channel grow, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to sub to the channel if you want to see more videos like this and to be ready for an upcoming PC giveaway as well. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with another video very soon. See you later.